The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Premier. Patterson Law, representing generations of Africville residents, issued a notice on Monday saying it had not received any response to an open letter sent February 8th to the Premier over the destruction of Africville between 1963 and 1970. The families rightly point out that the forced removal of my community from Africville was a calculated harm in the name of progress that resulted in a degradation of community and economic opportunity that is carried forward over the following 3 generations. Mr. Speaker, my question is, why hasn't the Premier responded to these families?
The honourable Minister for African Nova Scotian Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, there's no question that the destruction of Africville is probably one of the most unpleasant, alarming chapters in the province's history. Halifax began the process of making amends in approximately 2010, and as a province, we are committed to addressing and eliminating systemic racism, Mr. Speaker.
The member for Halifax Needham.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Although I respect what the minister had just said, the community needs to hear from the Premier, so I was hoping that he can answer this particular question. I also raised a question of reparations for African Nova Scotians during the All-Party Committee on Equity and Anti-Racism, but I was told that it was not an appropriate place for that conversation. We know that in order to rectify centuries of injustice, we are going to have to put resources behind our good intentions. This is why it is particularly alarming to me that there's no funding in the budget to implement the strategy to address racism and hate. Mr. Speaker, if the Premier is committed to repairing government's relationship with African Nova Scotian communities, why won't the Premier fund the work?
The Honourable Minister for African Nova Scotian Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the municipality should definitely be involved in any conversations about Africville and going forward. And all 3 levels definitely should be involved in it, including the province and the feds. And we are very, very open to having those conversations going forward, Mr. Speaker.